When you think of Batman, you think of the gadgets, the billions, the symbol that strikes fear into the hearts of criminals. But these are merely tools. They are not his true power. His greatest weapon is not something he holds in his hand. It is something he has forged in the absolute darkness of his own mind. An unbreakable, unshakable focus. A discipline so total it borders on the superhuman. But how does a man build such a mental fortress? How does he turn profound trauma, not into weakness, but into the very foundation of his strength? This is not a story about a superhero. This is a story about the architecture of an unbreakable will. Every great structure begins with a single point. For Bruce Wayne, that point was not a blueprint or a vision. It was a vow. A vow made in a dark alley, surrounded by the echoes of tragedy. Most minds, when faced with such profound trauma, shatter. They fall into patterns of grief, fear, and avoidance. This is a normal, human response. But what separates Bruce Wayne is not the absence of this pain, but his conscious decision on how to use it. He did not suppress the memory. He weaponized it. He transformed his grief from a debilitating emotion into a singular, unwavering focal point. This is the psychological principle of post-traumatic growth, taken to its absolute extreme. Instead of asking, "Why did this happen to me?" logically he asked, "What must I become because this happened?" That single question became the architect of his new reality. It dictated his every action. The pain was no longer a random event. It was the fuel for a rigorous, almost monastic system of self-creation. The endless nights of study, the brutal physical training, the mastery of a dozen disciplines, and these were not random acts of vengeance. They were the building blocks of his mental fortress. This is the first principle in the architecture of will, a purpose so powerful it can organize chaos. He used the memory of what was taken from him to build a structured, disciplined life. The pain was not erased. It was given a job. It became the unrelenting engine of his focus. Discipline requires more than just willpower. It requires an environment designed for it. For Batman, this environment is the Batcave. We often see it as a high-tech base of operations, but its true function is far more profound. The Batcave is the ultimate deep work sanctuary. It is an engineered space, meticulously designed for one purpose: the complete elimination of distraction and the maximization of cognitive output. There are no social media notifications in the Batcave, no small talk, no trivial interruptions. It is a space of pure, unadulterated focus. Here, Batman is not just fighting crime. He is engaging in the highest forms of learning and problem-solving, analyzing complex chemical compounds, deciphering riddles, researching the entire criminal underworld of Gotham. These tasks demand hours of uninterrupted concentration. This is a physical manifestation of a psychological principle: environmental design. We often blame our lack of focus on internal weakness, when the real culprit is our external environment, which is engineered for distraction. Batman understands this. He doesn't try to focus in a chaotic world. He physically removes himself from it to enter a space where focus is the default state. The Batcave teaches us a critical lesson. To master your mind, you must first master your space. You must build your own cave, a time and place free from the constant noise of the modern world, where your mind has the silence and solitude it needs to do its most important work. Even with a powerful purpose and a perfect environment, the human mind has its limits. Bruce Wayne is still a man, haunted by doubt and fear. So how does he bridge the gap between the vulnerable man and the symbol of fearlessness? He uses a mask. The cowl of the Batman is not just a disguise. It is a powerful psychological tool, a switch. It is the core of what psychologists call enclothed cognition. The idea that the clothes we wear can systematically influence our thoughts and behaviors. When Bruce Wayne puts on the suit, he is not just wearing a costume. He is activating an alter ego, a version of himself that embodies all the qualities he needs for his mission: focus, intimidation, and an absolute absence of fear. The mask allows him to consciously set aside the identity of Bruce Wayne, the grieving son, the billionaire playboy, and fully inhabit the identity of the Batman, a relentless force of will. This symbol does more than hide his face, it liberates his mind. It creates a psychological distance from his own limitations. Bruce Wayne might feel fear, but Batman does not. Bruce Wayne might feel exhausted, but Batman's mission is eternal. The symbol becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. This is the final piece of the architecture: the creation of a symbol powerful enough to override your own perceived weaknesses. A mental trigger that signals to your brain, it is time to become more than what you are. So what is Batman's true superpower? It is not his wealth. It is not his technology. It is his mind. It is the extraordinary ability to take the most profound pain imaginable and use it as a cornerstone. The discipline to build a life of structure and routine around a single, unwavering purpose. The wisdom to engineer an environment that serves his focus. And the psychological genius to create a symbol that allows him to transcend his own humanity. Batman teaches us that an unbreakable will is not something you are born with. It is something you build. It is an architecture, designed piece by piece, decision by decision. You may not have a Batcave or $1 billion fortune, but you have a mind. And like him, you have the power to decide what to build with it.